Okay, so tying it all together, now let's talk about creating an entirely new site from scratch. We've covered a ton of different topics here in the course, and a number of people have said, okay, this is all great, but how do I practically apply it all? So if you haven't yet started your website or you're starting a new site, I just wanted to go over some of the ways that we can incorporate really good search engine optimization best practices into the founding of a new site. So for this example, let's say we're starting a website for a mobile app development company. Let's say it has a handful of employees and they create iPhone and Android apps. So let's get started. So first and foremost, right, you'll want to go to Google and just type Keyword Planner, right? And so the Google AdWords Keyword Planner is a tool primarily designed for paid search campaigns, but we also use it in SEO. So this is an insanely valuable tool. It's pretty much going to be the starting point for your SEO campaigns, and it's a really good tool to use prior to launching a site as well. Just keep in mind it's primarily used for paid search, but we also use it in search engine optimization. So the first option, search for new keyword and ad group ideas. This is your starting point. So let's think through a handful of keywords that our customers would be typing. So just to get started, let's try iPhone app developers and Android app developers. Now there's a lot of different options here. You can skip them for now. There's targeting, lots of different targeting that'll give us kind of the data based on different geographics, different languages. We can skip this all for now. Just leave it to default all locations, all languages, and hit get ideas. So now once you click get ideas, you're going to be taken to this screen. And here's the big mistake people make with this interface is that you're defaulted to add group ideas. This is Google bundling up a number of different keywords into buckets. And they make it very easy for you to just add these, and you're adding a lot of different keywords. You don't really want to do this initially. So when you first land on this page, you always want to click keyword ideas. This brings you to a tab that gives you actual queries rather than buckets or groups of keywords, right? So when we're on the screen, we're first given any inputs that we made, right? iPhone app developers, Android app developers. So these are what we gave Google, and then it's going to spit back out a number of different keywords that it thinks are related. So that's the general process here. We give it a few keywords, it gives us information on those keywords along with recommendations, and we can continue to refine this process. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is average monthly searches, right? You can see that here. And so we have 1,000 average monthly searches for iPhone app developers, and we have 720 for Android app developers. Competition is a metric. Now remember, this is a tool designed primarily for paid search. So competition is a metric based on paid search, right? So we don't really want to be looking at this from an SEO perspective. Again, suggested bid, ad impression share, these are things we don't really need to look at right now. Just average monthly searches is fine. If you go over here, right, this will show us any seasonal data. So sometimes this can be an incredibly misleading number, right? So if you don't look at the seasonality of it, sometimes you can get in trouble. If I change this, right, to Santa Claus, and as you can see here, right, Santa Claus searched for 450,000 times a month, but when you look at the seasonality, turns out it's not searched for that much at all. It's barely searched for the rest of the year and searched for 2.7 million times in December. So just keep it in mind. I mean, seasonality is definitely dependent on your industry, but let's go back to our primary keyword. So iPhone app developers, Android app developers. So let's say we like both of these. We're going to add them to our plan. These are our keyword ideas over here, right? My keyword ideas. You can set the match type here. Again, this is a paid search functionality. You don't really need this. I can go over here and call this app development company keyword ideas, something like that. Doesn't really matter. So that's our ad group. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move through the keyword set and start trying to think through things. And when you're at this phase in your research, right, you're at the very beginning. And so I like to cast a broad net. So rather than really thinking for a long time about whether or not it's your market, I just kind of simply like to add it. So I get pretty liberal with it and just add things as they go along, right? So let's say I really liked all these and I thought they were all good and I was adding them and they all made sense to me. And let's say I was done, right? So all of those made sense. And you can do a couple things here. You can just delete this plan outright and start over. You can download it to a CSV, or you can copy your keywords to your clipboard, right? So these are all the keywords I've input. I'm going to copy them. I'm going to go back into the tool and paste them and hit enter or get ideas. Just let Google think for a moment. And so now the process continues. So everything up here in this top box are all of the inputs I've made, right? They came from the suggestions that Google gave me. You can sort them alphabetically by average monthly searches, right? So I have all these, and then Google is again going to give me more recommendations based on my inputs. So you can do this process one time, two times, a million times. It doesn't really matter. I like to run through it at least 3 or 4 times in general, right? You can sort by keyword relevance, which is a ranking algorithm Google has. You can sort by average monthly searches. Generally, when you sort by the highest volume, you start to actually get pretty irrelevant. Android apps is probably not the right keyword for us. So you usually want to keep sort by relevancy and just kind of move through, right? Android apps development, developing Android apps, maybe, but we'll add it for now. Again, I like to be very liberal at the beginning. Android app development company, right? So we're doing keyword research for a commercial entity. People that generally are appending the word company to their keywords are probably willing to pay, right? They're not in the research phase. They're looking for companies or someone to outsource it to. That's very good. So we can keep moving through and keep moving through. Android app creation, right? I mean, you need to really think through searcher intent here. Is this someone who's trying to learn how to make Android apps? Who knows? Let's add it for now. I think it's unlikely, but we can refine this later. And so this is kind of a little bit more art rather than science. You need to do this a lot. You need to really understand the searcher intent and what the person behind the query is looking for in order to get really good at this. Again, let's go back in. Let's copy one more time. Hit close. We'll go in. We'll select all. We'll paste over it again, and we'll hit enter. We'll let Google think for a moment. And again, same thing. So at the very top, we have all the keywords we've input up here. And then we have even more suggestions that Google gave us down here. So whenever we're ready, let's say we've done all of our keyword research and we're very happy with it, just click download plan. It defaults you to move into the AdWords editor. I just usually download as an Excel. You click save file and it'll give you a CSV.